Oh, my AIs are
Okay,
coming in.
that's fine.
Dicks too. They start taking over the
I'm
world.
I'm gonna mute myself. Just the road noise in the car. Okay, guys.
Yeah, you got it.
Yep.
Daniel and Dick, whoever's using the fixer AI and stuff, do you guys actually go back to your notes and read them?
My AI goes back to the read it. My other
Do
AIs read the
you?
AI. Both of
Okay,
them. They're just.
what does that mean?
I'm just messing with
So,
you.
I mean, do you really leverage these note takers, or is it just taking up space?
So depending on which event need that I need to go back over. So,
Hmm.
but they automatically come in. So
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
they just yeah exactly. They just come in and I'll review the notes and if it's if it's important enough, then I'll share with the right people.
Got it.
This one is important.
Yeah, it is very important.
and
Samantha or Rio or Alex, who's my executive assistant who's on? Samantha, I
Hello.
see you on.
Yeah, it's
Are
me.
you
Hey guys.
co-host? Are you co-host?
Yeah, I am.
All right, thank you. So you're watching the screen
thank
to
you.
let people in for me, please?
Yep, of
Yep.
course.
And and is it you who's recording this?
I'm also recording.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, guys.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
We are at the top of the hour. We are getting let's go. It's the new year. This is the second Power Hour Agent Attraction of 2026. We had no other than Gene Frederick as our guest speaker 2 weeks ago, where Gene poured into us about agent attraction and growth. For those who don't know Gene, he has over 20,000 agents in his revenue share organization. He's part of my revenue share business partners upline here at EXP. And no better person to have on the call today than Mr. Daniel Ang. He's one of our massive leaders, contributor to community, not just to the EXP community, residential and commercial, but also to his local community there in Greater Dallas and the uh, Asian Real Estate Association of America, where he and I serve the nonprofit to promote sustainable, affordable housing throughout not just our local markets, but around the world. Um, and that's how I got to know Daniel. I've known Daniel now for definitely over a decade, probably
Yeah.
13 years now. Dan, going on 13 years and for those who don't know Dan, his background is he had two franchises. He was a broker owner of two franchises, a residential one under the ERA brand and a commercial one under Sperry CGA. Dan, if you care to share a little bit of further background, then feel free after my introduction. But I was fortunate enough to come across Dan and finally lock arms with Daniel to come over to EXP here, and he's done an amazing job. Daniel, I ran some numbers, your numbers, and 6 months ago, Daniel had 253 agents in his revenue share organization. 253. Pretty good, right, guys? Who in here can raise the hand and say they have over 100 agents in the revenue share organization? Particularly, keep your hands up if you have 200 agents in your revenue share organization. Keep your hands up if you have 300 agents in your revenue share organization. Well, Dan, your hand should be up the entire time. All right. Daniel went from 253 to a number of 310 agents today. That is 22% growth in not just in growth, but in retention, Okay. And so this guy is a rock star. Everyone at corporate knows who Daniel Eng is. Right? As a real estate professional, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Daniel, I probably am wrong, but you in the greater Dallas area, you also a massive real estate professional. You have over, I believe, 200,000 square feet of retail space that you own and manage, right? You pass out to your team. So this guy does everything. He's a family man. He's a man of faith. And I am honored to have him on the call today to be our guest speaker, to teach, to pour into you, because that's who Daniel is, about how he is maintaining his business, how he has grown in a very short period of time and is on track through primary sponsorship and co-sponsorship to grow even faster than ever before. Daniel, welcome to the call. Oh, by the way, you see two of me purposely. That's by design because this call is about duplication. So uh, it's duplication, right? How do you leverage yourself to get two of you working at the same time, right? I do it because, well, I just bought a new laptop, and this laptop, it does not have the same quality, video quality sound as my iPhone, whatever version iPhone is. And I also want to, I'm sitting in a Regis office space, right? I'm on the road all day today. For those who don't know, if you're part with the EXP family, you get access to Regis globally, worldwide. This is beautiful. I have this whole friggin' 3,000 square foot office to myself, high speed Wi Fi, um, you know, um, uh, coffee, tea, whatever I want, high speed internet. And you have access to that as well. So you don't have to be stuck in a location. With EXP, you can build your business worldwide. Daniel Lang, welcome to the call, man.
Yes, well, glad to be here. Excited for everyone that's hopped on, and for those that are going to watch this recording later. Goal is to try to explain it so you guys understand the power of a growth, leveraging this new co-sponsorship, which is less than 6 months old, and it is a serious game changer. I hope that for those that are on the call, you understand rev share. I'm not going to go over the tiers and all that, but really to understand the power leverage. Having two toms, and I'm gonna actually have a slide where you're gonna have a rev continuum, right? So I'm gonna kind of show my slides, and anyone that has questions, and please put on the chats. I will go through those while or Tom can look over
Yeah,
those,
we'll do that at the
and
end, but
and
definitely,
all
yeah.
yeah, and all the slides that I share, I'll share it with you guys. So yes, my name is Daniel Ng, and I'm going to correct Tom. He said a 200,000 square feet. We have a million square feet of retail.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I don't want to hear excuses from agents. Oh man, I'm too busy selling houses. I can't attract. I'm too busy managing my properties. I can't grow. I can't sell. I can't build a team. Right? This guy manages his time. When I texted him about an hour ago, I said, "Are you ready?" He goes, "Of course I'm ready." He didn't come up with some bogus excuse saying his shoelace broke and he can't make the call. Back to you, Dan.
I'm here at a coffee shop. So if you don't have a Regis office at your locations, no excuse. Find these coffee shops nationwide, everywhere. And, a lot of, churches have coffee shops now. Great place to hang out for quiet space. So, well, I'm sharing my slide, and you see a lot of little avatars, just cartoon characters, right?
Mhm.
The main thing is you have to fill these out. You have to understand, where you're at. So I've made one for myself where my partner James, Tom, Tracy Gagnon, Scott Lewis, and Jennifer Flick. So when I do a transaction, um, you know, the money goes up 7 levels. We all understand that. Okay. So now I have the privilege to work with Elizabeth Riley. Elizabeth Riley is a rock star in Austin. If you don't know Elizabeth Riley, she's like the heart and soul of EXP, right? And I have the privilege to work with her as a co-sponsor. So let me see if I can annotate maybe a little bit easier so you guys can see, or maybe I'll use my spotlight. Okay. So Elizabeth here is in Austin, and I have a future agent that I'm bringing on in Austin. Well, guess what? She has a community because let's understand community is very important. Culture is very important. That's going to be the retention, the longevity, the legacy component of your organization, and that's where you come in and you add these co-sponsors. So You have people like Jay Kinder. We've heard him, Honey Badgers. You've seen him. He has a big funnel campaign that he does, you know, massive organization. Same thing. You can add these people to your lineup. So think of fantasy football, right? You can add these rock stars. However, before you add them, have a conversation with them. What are they going to provide value for the agent that you're coming? Because when you're meeting with people, you're asking them questions. What are they needing? Are they need social media? Are they needing more leads? Are they needing culture, a office space, in-person meetings that happen every week? What is it, right? You have Spring Bees. Spring just joined us last year. She's out in Utah. She's moving to Arizona soon in Phoenix, right? You have someone in Phoenix. Imagine you partnering up with these big leaders, right? And that's the power of co-sponsorship, and it just goes on and on. Like there's endless possibilities, right? So you got to get to know these leaders that are providing value. There are leaders that are retired, and I'm not saying they're not going to provide value, but you got to figure out what's going to be for that agent that you're bringing on, because the whole focus is not about you. The whole focus is about the agent that you're bringing on and what their goals are, right? So figure out what that is, and then pair them up, like Eric Clark down in Atlanta, right, in the commercial realm, right? That's another great partner that you can connect with. Michael Levy, right? These other great people, Keith Andrews out in Alabama, right? He's doing a lot of commercial coaching. So even if you had a residential agent that want to learn commercial, talk to Keith, talk to Eric, right? There's all these things that you can do. Brittany Stewart's in Dallas. She has a brick and mortar. She's about 20 minutes north of my office. Well, guess what? We've partnered up together, right? And support agents. And if you have questions on so I'm just showing you what you can do. This is exactly what you need to create. Your 7 level upline. You need to create, and I'm gonna give you the Canva link template so you can copy this and then replace this. So you put yourself here as the primary sponsor. You're going to add that co-sponsor leader in. So I'm going to show you, Korea, right? I'm working with Korea as well. But I'm going to show you something called adding people to your line. So Brittany Stewart is also a co-sponsor for Christy. Christy brought in Ty. Well, Ty also wanted to add a co-sponsor. Well, guess what? We added the Texas managing broker because the Texas managing broker, they also wanted to grow their organization. So now, if you look at my lineup, I have a Texas managing broker in my line that's supporting the organization. That's how powerful. And then, I got two co-sponsors here that are supporting these two people, this line, right? So there's just a
And
lot
he
of,
still go back up, and he still has James Huang, and he still has me
yep,
and everyone upline to support him and his new co-sponsored organization
yep.
because
So
Daniel is the primary.
correct. So when Ty does a transaction, of course, Josh gets paid revenue. Christy, Brittany Stewart, Ton, Daniel, myself, James, and Tom, right? And then the continuum can come down here. If Ty brings on someone from Boston, he can call Tom and then just continue on. So I'm going to show you another chart I have with all this. I have John Sy. John Sy's supporting, and John has already brought in with Peter, I think, 4 people now,
Yep.
right? And I'm not
Yes.
managing that, and so it's just continue to grow that way.
And John
Um,
used to be the president, EXP
Canada,
Canada president, right?
yes,
And
yep,
so he left that presidency just like our James Huang left the commercial presidency to build a rev share. Back to
yep.
you, Dan.
Yep. So I'm actually going to see him in 2 weeks in Vancouver, and he's constantly pouring into our group, sending all his stuff, all his events, like just like Tom does, right? You imagine you got all these leaders sending like all their stuff, and of course everyone's going to different places and learning. As long as they're learning, right? That's the main thing is plugging in, right? Paul Frank is supporting our San Diego commercial CCI partner that came in. And then Paul Frank's also helping with Lucia and Aaron, also on the commercial side as well. So, I
So,
mean, you've got great leaders that are supporting.
so think about that. Lucia, right, so Daniel personally sponsored Lucia. Lucia brought in Aaron, but in the middle is Paul Frank, right? And so Lucia, I think I saw Lucia on the call.
Yep, she's
Lucia,
on.
are you here?
I'm here, yes.
Lucia, yeah, so awesome. Good to see you, Lucia. Tell us some of the behind the scenes on why you and Aaron and Paul Frank decided that co-sponsorship worked well here,
The
and
re-
why you're the primary and why Paul is the co, and what's in it ultimately for Aaron.
Yeah, for sure. And it was really exclusively focused on Aaron because he is on the commercial side. And as much as we can encourage him and we can be supportive for him, Paul Frank is a seasoned commercial realtor or broker. So that unity was just so valuable for Aaron's growth as a new broker that it made 100% sense.
Thank you. All
Yep,
right, back to you, Dan.
and it was great because Paul was in Miami and they Paul had his team and organization. They had their commercial private dinner, and Aaron and his wife were able to go to that. I think Lucia, did you go too, or um
No, we weren't
okay,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got things like there's so much stuff going on, especially when you have 300 something people. There's no way to manage 300 people, right? So you have other leaders that are working together with you to do that, right? That's the power of leverage. And I'm really grateful for that co-sponsorship and Paul's and Aaron on our call at least every 2 weeks. So and Aaron's doing deals, right? He's hopefully gets this $8 million contract. So he's working on that. So, yes, Michelle Wilson's another rock star out in Phoenix. I met her in Vancouver and then I made a connection. And then, Toby says, "Hey, you know what? My sister's in Phoenix." I'm like, and she's in real estate. I'm like, "Did you not want to tell me this like when we first joined us?" So had a conversation and then Tony goes, "Well, I'm needing local support in Phoenix." Like, well, guess what? I just met a friend, Michelle. Why don't you have a conversation? And then they hit it off. So that's how, and then Michelle's pouring into, they have calls also as well. So really, so now this is a different chart. This is what we call inter co-sponsorship, meaning this is within your organization. So Calvin is my tier one. He brought in Alex. Alex brought in Charlie. Well, these two gentlemen were working on loan, but then at that time we didn't have co-sponsorship 2 years ago. Well, guess what? Loan finally made a business decision to partner up with us. But then we were trying to figure out like which line should she go? Should she get someone else outside of your organization? And she goes, she really likes Ton and she really likes what Alex and Charlie's doing, but then she also wants commercial from us. Then I said, well, guess what? I sent her this chart. I said, Loan, this is just a draft. Let me show you what this means. She gets Ton. She gets Charlie, she gets Alex, she gets Calvin, and she gets me, and she gets James, and she gets Tom. Okay. So when you visually make this for people, they see the upline support, right? The partnership, right? And that's the beauty of this. And Ton is my tier one. So this is
That's
what I call it.
that's critical there. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the inter co-sponsorship within your organization. So it creates Ton and Charlie and Alex in a partnership too, because they're supporting this line. Right? This is huge because it creates a bond together, right? So
That makes that saying one big happy family even more true, right, Dan? I love
yes,
it.
yes. So then Chloe is just joining actually today. She's filling out the application and I asked her, it's like you don't need a co-sponsor. It's your choice. And I always leave it up to the agent. I said if you have any questions, I want to make sure you understand it first. And she goes, you know what? I like Hallie in Dallas. She does a lot of luxury stuff. She's part of Grant Cardone's wife's organization with the Lioness, and she can provide a lot of value on that. And I said, okay, that's what we did. I actually sent this to Hallie about 20 minutes ago before our call. And she was excited to partner out with me because, we've always done referrals on commercial, and now she's in my organization to support. So now the continuum.
I love this. I love,
So
love, love this.
So if Chloe is my tier 7, okay, so look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chloe's my tier 7. When Chloe brings on agents, guess what? If I provide value, then she can add me to as a co-sponsor for this future agent. So in a sense, I am continuing the line. If you don't understand the power of this, we could never continue the line. It stopped at 7. This is the power of the co-sponsorship. You can continue your line, and guess what? I become a downline under Chloe and Hallie and Lone and Ton and all them to support their growth. So it really changed the game because once you start growing, you get to that tier 7. You talk to your tier 7, you provide value and support. Guess what? They're gonna, of course, gonna add you. Not all the time. If Chloe's gonna get someone from, say, from Phoenix, of course I would love to be a co-sponsor, but the main thing is the agent. So the main thing for me bringing on the agent here is I'm providing value, right? I'm not retired yet.
I love
But
it.
so that is the power of the continuation. If you have any questions, or take a screenshot, whatever of this, it's very powerful. Let me see
So
what else I
Daniel,
have.
Daniel, and
Yes,
everyone else, that's why there's two of me on this screen.
that's right.
The continuum. I did this purposely because I wanted everyone to have a visual of this slide that Daniel is sharing and two of me on this Zoom screen here. I've successfully done that twice now, where I reinsert myself as the co-sponsor on the 8th level and help, in this scenario, Chloe build another 7 tiers down to 14 tiers.
Yep.
For those who are logged into your My EXP rev share, that's why in your rev share now you can see down to 15 levels. Got it? We're connecting all the dots for you guys here. Back to you, Daniel.
So, well, that once Tom gets to level 15, he's gonna do it again.
That's right. And then the My EXP will then show, 21 levels, not just 14 or 15.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So, but that's the power. I mean, so the thing is, I want you guys to think about this. I want you to draw this out. It's just like our leaders tell, like if you're talking about attraction, have a list of 100, right? And then if you're looking at co-sponsors, have this drawn out. Think about which partners you want to work with that provide different value, right? With Dick Lee, other leaders, around the country, right? There's no excuse, right? Because we used to be excuse, well, I'm not a top producer, I'm not this. There's no more excuse because you can insert a good leader to provide value to that other agent. Tina Call, Veronica Figueroa, all these great leaders. I got a great guy in San Antonio that I connected with. He's on fire. I mean, he has 2 offices. He's plugging away. He's doing calls. There's a lot of people who are very excited. Plug into them, right? And then there's people that are orphans. Maybe they're upline. Like I had one guy, like 3 or 4 of their upline left, right?
Yeah.
You want to support them. This is how you can help them, right?
They left,
So
or they're not actively building revenue share,
no,
right?
no,
They left or they're not
some
active.
people
Oh,
have
they
left.
left
Some
completely.
yes, they left
Correct.
completely. So they're kind of like an
Yeah.
orphan out there, you
That's
know.
right. Hey, Dan, before
We
we talk about this slide,
Yes.
before talking,
Hmm.
go back to the last slide, please.
Yes.
Okay. So that's cool to see the entire revenue share organization with Dan repeating again. Now he's helping, Chloe and Haley and Lone and Tan build their lower tiers because he is financially vested in the next 7 tiers, right? And what's really cool on the upper right-hand corner of his slide is everyone builds their own brand. EXP teaches us that do not build EXP's brand. As much as we all are proud of EXP, we want you to build your brand. So this We Partners Network, this Lioness, this Trans Premier Group, this Excel team, there's a team Ace, Texas Ace team, there's Engvest. Do you see the power of this? And then on the lower right-hand corner, and now Dan and his entire organization are leveraging the tools, the skill set, the collaboration, the connections from both the commercial and the realty side, EXP commercial, EXP realty, right? One day, I'm sure he's going to put in the EXP luxury logo right onto the same side, because along the line, someone's going to come in as a luxury agent. And now the entire team has access to all these tools through co-sponsorship, through revenue share, without having to pay for all of these extra tools. It's already built in the organization. Back to you, Dan.
Yeah. And just to continue on, like we've added Thomas Kim, which is the country leader for South Korea. Josh is actually moving to Korea next month. We're going to send him off on February the 12th or something like that, and he is going to build Korea. So we strategically put Thomas for Josh. When Josh came to me probably about 8 months ago, he came to EXPCon, wanted to meet Thomas, and then he joined. And after he joined, he strategically wanted Thomas because he knew he was going to be in Korea for at least 3 years. So instead of adding Thomas as a co-sponsor down the road, he wanted to make sure Thomas was always in line. So every agent that he brings is basically a tier one, and Thomas is part of that. So that's a strategic way of doing it. Kevin is Teresa's agent that she brought in, but we added Alvin as a co-sponsor. So Alvin is supporting this as well. So yeah, so just draw it out. I mean, I have so many of these slides.
When you draw it out, this is so cool, Daniel.
Mhm.
And thank you for having these visuals, right?
Yes.
When you draw it out, I firmly believe, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and you send it to your prospect. Hey, this is what it looks like in terms of the amount of support that you will get once you join us, right? And I think just having the visual, including that new prospect agent into the fold, show them what it means to be part of the family before they're part of the family, goes a long way. And if you really want to compound the effect of this slide, go ahead and show, well, who is Andy Leung? Here's his resume. Who is Kevin Su? Who is Alvin Wang, Teresa Tong, Daniel, James, Tom? When you come into this fold, you get all of these resources, connections.
Yes. So this is another example of another interco sponsorship. So Andy's actually my tier one. He's my tier one, but he has Yalin as a friend. And, I don't speak Mandarin very well. And, you know, Kevin's also a lender. Alvin, she wanted someone that had some California ties for money coming in from California. So I said, hey, you know what? There's an opportunity where Kevin can be primary and Alvin is in the upline to support Yalin. And of course, Teresa's also from Tianjin, China, and she has a Chinese group. So this is the support. So strategy wise, we did this. Um, and so the main thing is for support.
I love it.
And Andy's been working on her for 3 years.
I
And when
love it.
co-sponsorship, I just said, hey, Andy, let's have a conversation. Let's show her this. Boom. Right. So there's different ways to do it. And the main thing is just remember to, you know, draw it out, think about it, and go from there. All right.
All right. Daniel, that's awesome. Anything else you want to add before we jump to Q&A? You crushed it, man. 30 minutes of sharing the inspiring teaching. We've got another whole 30 minutes to answer questions for you. Keep that slide up, Daniel,
Okay.
so that folks can get in touch with you. Daniel is an amazing candidate for co-sponsorship,
I'm gonna share
right?
the I'm
Either
gonna
co
share
or
this
primary sponsorship, right? Co or primary, depending on the
templates.
situation.
Copy.
Let's talk about, Daniel, you mentioned earlier about where you worked with an agent who, quote unquote, for lack of a better word, is an orphan agent, where they don't have an upline in place. And so in that scenario, if they don't have any upline in place that has meetings like this, that has training like this, how hard is the conversation to let them know that, hey, that it would benefit you? How's that conversation go for you in terms of sharing the opportunity of sponsorship where you become the primary and they remain the co? Talk to me about that.
So the conversation is kind of adding the support. What are they needing? it
Hmm.
always comes back like, what is that? So if that agent is kind of lost and they want to be so before co-sponsorship, I would like these orphans, right? And they
Hmm.
would be part there would be like an affiliate partner. But now with them, if they wanted to add an agent, they can be a co-sponsor because one of the things they wanted my support because I do have a physical office, and then
Hmm.
they want to get on commercial, and then they also want to be tied to Tom and Tracy Gagnon and all that those leaders, right? Because that other person may not have leaders to support anymore, or some people I've learned that they are strict to Glenn Sanford.
That's
And
right.
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But guess what? Glenn is busy, right? And so it's different. So the main thing is just have a conversation, show and then have introduce your upline partners. Share what they're doing. Get on Tom's calls. Get on Tracy's calls. Tracy's doing calls and coaching and things like that. James has a Friday call every Friday, so just have a conversation and see what's the support they're needing and then provide value, right? I think for attraction, his main thing is providing value, finding solutions. We're here to solve problems. We're in real estate, right? We're
Yes,
here
we
to
are.
solve problems, and same thing for agents. We're here to solve agents' problems, and not spoon feed them. Find solutions so they have a direction, and that's really what I'm doing here. I'm on this call, so if you guys have questions, I'm here to support that. And there's sometimes going to be where people are going to add me as a co-sponsor. Guess what? It's okay. We're
That's right.
all one big family. We're
That's
going to
right.
support each other. But the main thing is, what is the value that you're bringing to the table? And at the same time, is your upline sponsors supporting and getting them on their calls. Like Tom provides so much value. He has a resource site. He has just so many things. And then him and his wife pour back for all these years, right? So.
All right, let's take some questions. Feel free to open up your mic, raise your hand. All right, Michael Levy, go ahead, man.
Hi, great job, Daniel. You are awesome and inspirational, and you're great. Good, keep it up. So yeah, my question is, does it ever happen where somebody comes to you and you have the option to be the primary sponsor for the recruit or the co-sponsor? Does that ever happen? And which would you choose and why?
So when people come to me and they're trying to figure out which direction they want to go, is I try to find out who the upline leader is on the other side, just to understand, because if they're retired, they're not plugging in, or they're no longer, well, whatever it is, then I really tell that, hey, okay, this is my upline leaders, this is what we provide. It's just like a listing presentation, right? You're providing your value. And then if the other side is like, well, I haven't talked to my person that sponsored me, hasn't talked to me for a whole year. Um, I mean, that's what you're looking at, right? I mean, and maybe the up line is great too, right? So yes, we're in a sense there's competition, but it's not competition because it's really like, what is that agent, who's they're going to connect with, right? So at the end of the day is they need to make a business decision is what it is. And especially if you have an agent that's wanting to partner up with you, right? Really my take for me is the FLQAs, right? Because I'm not
That's
an
right.
icon agent. And I would love more FLQAs to hit that 30 so I can unlock tier seven. Even though I have tier seven, I'm not making that I'm not making that money. But I can come, but it's okay, right? I'm unlocked to tier six because I have 15 or more. And but at the same time, is FLQAs are really important that are growing because we're focused on growing our organization. We're supporting everyone else. So I have like 35 on my front line, my tier one, and then everything else is growing. So I'm always supporting that growth. I also have to go back, like this year, I have to go back to uh, you know, cold call and talk to people myself, right? Because once you get past that 50, you're helping everyone else,
That's right.
right? And then you kind of forget like, oh, I need to build for myself too, you
Yeah,
know. So,
awesome,
but
man.
yeah.
So before we go to Alan Nanny's question, Alan, get ready. You're next. Talk to me about the floor qualifying sponsor. Have you taken advantage of that exception where someone is in the revenue share organization, they're in your levels 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You help them sponsor personally. It's not through co-sponsorship, but it's them naming that brand new agent who's maybe in your level 4, 5, 6, or 7, but naming you as the floor qualifying sponsors. You can break through to that tier 7.
Yeah, so I'm actually doing that this week. So I have a person that I connected with Calvin. Calvin's my tier 1, and we have this agent that we're bringing on. And Calvin's an icon agent, so he doesn't need the FLQA. So this agent that's going under Calvin, we're gonna name her as the FLQA for me. So there is a link, and if you don't understand what we're talking about, let's have a conversation. There's a link so you can register that agent as the FLQA for you.
I think
So,
it's right on my website, agentsgetfree.com under agent attraction resources. Well, I'm not going to go there now, but that makes a
yep,
lot of sense. So for those,
yep,
I've taken advantage of that to help our lower level agents, sponsor within the same line. Co-sponsorship isn't necessary, but Daniel and I would have that new agent name us the floor qualifying sponsor because we're not interested in selling anymore. Our goal is to support you. We don't want to sell, but because we don't sell, we don't have the automatic levels open up. Levels 1, 2, and 3 are automatically opened up for all of us, right? Regardless if we're closing the deal or not, all 3 levels. And when
yep,
you cap, level 4 and 5 open up. And capping is not hard. I still cap every year, okay? But I don't icon. I don't want to icon. I don't have time to icon, right? But so to get to level 6 and 7, Daniel and I and the big builders have to maintain 30 or more floor qualifiers. And that's the important piece to us. Okay. Just
yep.
make sure I underscore that. Alan, Annie, you're up.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, Daniel. I may have a fuzzy memory here, but I seem to recall that when co-sponsorship was announced, that the co-sponsor had to be in a different organization, family tree or whatever you want to call it, than the primary sponsor. Has that ever been the case, or has it changed, or what?
So within the organization, so I'm say you're the head of your organization, right? You got your organization. You have lines already, like tier 1s. They're building
Yeah,
their branches, right?
right.
Those branches can connect,
Okay. Okay.
right? So like Alan, how many give me your 2 tier 1 names that you have, people that you have.
Terry and Hannah.
Okay. So Terry and Hannah could come together to bring on John.
Okay. Okay. All right.
The, yeah. So
I
that's
guess
what I call the inter co-sponsorship
I
in
just
your
was
in your organization. Yeah.
just wasn't clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
Alan, did
And
that
that's why I
help?
draw it.
Hopefully
That's
that
why I
light went
draw it.
off for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do that here in Boston a lot. We do a lot of co-sponsorship here. Like I have level 1s. I have 25 level 1s, and I connect my 75 level 1s with one another so they can co-sponsor with each other.
Yeah.
From my perspective, it doesn't matter who's primary, who's co. They can figure it out no matter what. It flows right up to the same upline.
And it goes back to what is the support that the agent needs? What is that? So it all comes back to that. So draw it out. I put the Canva template, all the stuff that I shared today. You're welcome to copy that, draw it up, redesign it, change out colors, whatever, and just make it your own. But that's important that you start drawing that out. I would like if you don't have a big organization, I would start lining up your co-sponsors that you're thinking about, and then start playing, right? Because if it's not on paper, right? If it's not on paper, it's not there. So start thinking about it and
Real-
putting those
I
things.
got one question here.
Yes, Scott.
Thank you for this. Right, so because I remember the same thing with the same upline. So just try to make it make sense. So that same example, I've got 2 of my level 1s. Let's just call it Raleigh and Jamal, right? In what scenario would it make sense for them to do co-sponsor? Because they're going to have my support. So why would they use each other for a sponsor and co-sponsor?
So if that agent that they're bringing on knows both of them, they want both of their support in the line. So that's why they would do it.
They want both their direct support. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Besides us as the big
Yep.
the
Yep.
upline leader.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So
Thanks.
And one of the reasons you do that is also to create your group stronger, I think. Right?
Yeah.
We're still 6 months in. We're like I went crazy with just adding all of these co-sponsors, but then I realized some of these co-sponsors aren't really plugging back in, right? So then you learn and you figure out who's plugging in. Actually, what I have one co-sponsor who actually left the company. So when they left, guess what? There's an
Open
opportunity.
position. Yeah.
It's an open position. You can go back to corporate, and you have to fight for it to add a different co-sponsor if they left the company. So those are opportunities. So now I'm being more intentional who the new co-sponsor is. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you co-sponsored somebody, or more importantly, primary sponsor somebody, and they end up they aren't plugged in, they they don't show up, they have the risk of fleeing and leaving. That's an empty position in your revenue share organization, just like now, and it's a very steep uphill battle to fight to replace that position, because that position and revenue share will be lost pretty much forever.
yeah,
Okay. Very
primary
rare
par
will.
primary is very, very tough to move. Co-sponsor a little bit. They've more lenient from the co side. If the co-sponsor left,
And
I had a scenario. Yes.
sorry, I mean to cut you off. What's that time frame again? I've heard different days. Is it 5 days, 7 days, 30 days? 5 days. Okay, got you.
At this moment is 5 days. We have a leadership meeting in San Antonio next month. We might get some announcements. I've heard different things. If for some reason you miss a day or two, try to have it on record that you're trying to add somebody, but there's some delay. Email co-sponsorship. There's an email for EXP. So you
Okay,
have it on record that hey, like, hey, we're working on something. There's a delay, or you know, because people get confused, right? So at least try to, as a leader, put that in record that you're working on a co-sponsorship that we haven't finalized
got you.
because you're
Thank you.
interviewing. 5 days is not very long, and so
All right. Love it. What other questions do we have, folks?
yeah,
Go ahead,
Michael,
Mike. Michael, go ahead.
Thanks.
So Michael has a lot of questions. You know
it's good.
why? Because on this call, he's probably growing the second fastest in this whole call as I go through the screen here. Go ahead, Michael.
By the way, I have a couple of hundred agents that I'm staying in touch with that are all maybes, and I noticed since the beginning of the year that there's some action. So I might be pulling in like 20 agents in the next month. So that's great. Great news. So, all right, Daniel, can you just go over, please, for us? Let's say you don't know an agent, and then you meet them. So, question one is how, or over the phone, or you connect with them somehow. And then you have a series of conversations. So, how frequently, how do you do it? Phone, Zoom, in person, whatever. And then let's say that they're maybes or on the fence, but then they end up joining you. Can you go over that process with us a little bit?
Well, I think when you're talking to somebody is kind of get to know them. Like, what is it? What are their goals, right? And at the same time, is how are they trying to get there? What was it in the past at their company that they're at? And and then for me in the back of the head, I'm always looking at who in my organization would be great support. If I'm not there to handhold, like not handhold, but like be there all day to day and just kind of get them up and running, who in my organization would be a great support? So you stack them, right? That was what we've done before in the past. If they're in a different market, then that's where that co-sponsorship should come in, right? Because we have to think about retention. You might be able to get them in, but they're gone in 6 months, 1 year, it doesn't matter, right? So we have to look at the long term and support of that agent. So when you're talking to them, see what they're needing, right? And then at the same time is start thinking about your lineup, your fantasy football lineup, like with co-sponsorship lineup. Who are the people that you know that social media, AI, commercial, open house pro, whatever it is. You got this, you could I think to keep it simple, if you had 10 good, strong partners, co-sponsor partners that you know, and they are willing to run with you, then that's those are the people that I would take. You don't have to get all 50 to 100 people. It's gonna get crazy. It's gonna be chaos no matter what. But the main thing is you have these 10 relationships that like you like them, and you have the same whatever what was it energy wavelength together, and then you go from there. And then that's how and then I would show them like, hey, I got 10 partners that I work with. These are the different people, and that's another conversation. So it's not all about you. You're leveraging these other partners that you have. So that's another idea. So that's another takeaway I would take is like think about, who's your lineup, of co-sponsors that you want to work with and they want to work with you, and then go from there. And I think this is huge for all of you guys on this call. Because if you can identify 10 people, it's hard for us as when we were building and identify three good partners. Now you don't have to because they're there already in the company, right? So I'm at the 300 mark. So another idea I was looking at, we have like a Excel sheet of, all the leaders that are growing. I'm looking at the people that are in the 200, 300 mark also. Those are the people I'm calling too. Guess what? They all have a mindset to get to 1,000. So imagine you're connecting with all these leaders. Guess what? Was it when the rising tide lifts all ships, boats, whatever that is? Same thing. These 300 that you're plugged in with, they're all going that direction. So those are the ones I plug to also as an option, right? Yes, you're getting the bigger leaders for other things that they're supporting. But really, the ones that are in the trenches is people like myself, like you, Michael, Dick Lee, we're in the trenches growing, and those are the ones that we want to inter co-sponsor and then just, I mean, necessarily want to co-sponsor with to grow. So.
I love it. All right, so we only have 13 minutes left before people drop off. As folks get your next questions ready, I wanted to share the next events before some of you start dropping off. I'm sharing my screen now. If you want to follow some of the events that we do, let me go up to events. This is our website here called Agents Get Free. There's residential events and there's commercial events. If I click on commercial events where Daniel is, that's today's event for Power Hour. Okay. I have a good surprise, an amazing surprise for everybody. Usually we only do these calls twice a month, the first and third Tuesdays of the month. It is 2026 and we're coming out of the gate strong with agent attraction. This is the best time right now. Winter is here where agents are questioning their brokerage, they're questioning their sales volume, they're questioning their goals. By now, 20 days into the new year, more than 80% of agents has already given up on their New Year's resolution that they set 20 days ago. Knowing that, I am pouring fuel on this fire this Thursday at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. I see some of you in the West Coast dialing in. Brent Gove is coming on this Power Hour Agent Attraction call. In 2 days, Brent is coming on and he's going to teach you guys like what Daniel is teaching on what's working right now for Brent Gove and for his organization. So don't miss that call. I don't have a flyer up yet. I literally just got a text from Brent saying I can put this Thursday at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, get me on there. Okay. So don't miss that call. And then Jim Huang, he does commercial every Friday, right? Jim is one who sponsored Daniel Lang. So don't miss that call. So many of us are going to be in Puerto Rico. Gene Frederick is the number one builder. He brought in Brent Gove. Scott Lewis, my sponsor. We're going to be in, Dick Lee's coming. We're going to have an entire real estate growth summit in Puerto Rico at the end of the month, from January 29th to February 1st. On this call, Samantha, can you just type in the chat for me? Use this code EXPVIP. If you use that instead of paying $497, You can get the VIP registration for just $147. I am identifying a leader in Costa Rica. We're not open in Costa Rica yet, but I'm working with our international team to head to Costa Rica to meet with this rock star to see if they might qualify to come on board and be our country leader in Costa Rica. So if you have contacts in Costa Rica, make sure you let me know who they are so I can, if possible, meet up with them and try to launch Costa Rica. Daniel and I and Dick Lee are going to be in San Antonio for the top producer and top agent attractors mastermind on the 11th, 10th, and 12th. For those commercial folks, CCC is Contractors, Closers, Connections. Chris Mayer is now part of EXP Commercial. He and I we launched the Boston chapter, so we're going to be in Boston that day. I'm heading to Iceland to find growth opportunities in Iceland. WeXP is growing, and you have the option to do the same thing that I'm doing. There's no barrier of entry here, right? I got wind that maybe EXP might want to be doing something in Iceland. So I say, why not sponsor the country leader if I have the opportunity to? When I got wind that India was looking for the next leader, I focused in on India, and the country leader of EXP is my tier 2 because I focused on it. So can you. That's my point. Okay. So the world is your oyster. Daniel Ang, if you want to see how powerful and how much this guy gives back to the organization, jump on his We Huddle call every Monday. This guy is religious about it. Every Monday, he holds a Zoom call and a huddle with his team. If you want to check out the caliber of who Daniel Ang is as a primary or co-sponsor, invite people to there. Have your prospect see how much this guy pours into organization. And in addition to Daniel, they have you to help them. And that's perfect for co-sponsorship. Okay. So it goes on and on and on. I can keep showing you all of the events, but I want to show you guys, you have what it takes to build a massive organization. Throw the excuses out of the window. Throw them out the window. Whatever you think your limitations are, get rid of them. Bury them. Okay? Because there are no limitations with this powerful network of collaborative agents that we have, especially through co-sponsorship. Back to you, Dan, and who else has questions?
No,
8
I
minutes
want
left.
yeah, there is no limitation here anymore. I mean, there's just collaboration, there's connections, there's relationships to be built, and a community. And another thing, if you have kids, you're building a network. So another why, so just to hear where my why is I'm building a strong entrepreneurial club, real estate network for my kids. And we're building it for our kids, the next generation. Because when we're not here, when God takes us home, guess what? Our kids are going to inherit this network. Your kids are going to inherit this network. Guess what? They're going to have a network of people that are strong, that have good ethics, leadership from all of us, right, that are giving, pouring back in. And that's the power of this model. And if that doesn't fire you up, I mean, I don't know what else is. I mean, yes, there's rev share and money and all that, but like money cannot buy the network. Okay. Your relationships are priceless. So if you don't think about that, please do be intentional,
Yeah.
and go from there. All right.
Yeah, talk about the power of the network. So Daniel's daughter, she goes to school here in Boston, right? And Marissa and I have really taken Bella on like our daughter. Marissa goes to dinner with her probably once every 45 days over the past 3 years. And she's got family right here. And if it wasn't for this network, the CXP, we would have never connected, right? And we love her. It's like our own kid, right? So
Yep.
that's the
Thank
power
you.
of that, right? It goes beyond just business.
Yeah, it really does.
All right, Joanna, do you have a question?
I do. Sorry, guys. I've been logging in and out because I'm on the road and don't have
Yeah,
the
go
great
ahead.
service. So somebody might have asked this question already. But like I want to start a team outside. As you know, I'm going to be going out to Puerto Rico, right? But I don't know really agents out there. I have a lot of like family and friends here that want to invest in Puerto Rico. So I definitely want to start a team out there. Like, what do you suggest in reference to, reaching out to agents and trying to connect with agents that are not in my area?
Okay, so you said you have people in the US, in the mainland, that want to invest in Puerto Rico. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. You can create a flyer like, hey, I'm going to be headed to Puerto Rico. I have investors and family members that are looking to invest in Puerto Rico. I had a group of agents that I want to meet up. Let's meet up. Do it a coffee event, do it whatever you want to do. They're going to flock over just to meet with you because you have investors, right? Because you're making the
Okay.
connections. You're building relationships first. You find
Okay.
that rock star agent that's going to work with you because they're showing you their value and their knowledge, and just like, hey, you know what? Guess what? I want to introduce you to Tom. I want to introduce you to somebody, um, whoever, or maybe there's a leader, a co-sponsor in Puerto Rico that you want to introduce, right? That's where you're going to take it to the next step, that second meeting.
So
Okay.
Joanna, you're coming to Puerto Rico with me to that event. You should create that
Yes.
flyer just like I created one for Iceland, just like I created one, for Costa Rica. I don't have an event going. I'm going to meet people one-on-one, but I'm letting the world know that I'm looking to grow in Costa Rica, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and do that in Puerto Rico. And then guess what? You don't know these agents. Do exactly what Daniel says. And then give them the VIP code. Tell them to come to this event. We're going to teach them. It's broker centric.
Yeah.
If you notice my flyer, it does not have EXP on it. There's no EXP on it whatsoever. It's about helping agents grow their real estate business and getting them free, financially free. Invite them to that event. I promise you, their current broker, their local brokerage in Puerto Rico, are not doing these type of growth events.
Yeah.
The rock
I
stars
did
in that
post.
local office, the rock stars in that local office in Puerto Rico, I promise you, are not sharing their trade secrets on how to get listings and how to get buyers and how to grow a team because they're training their own competition in their own backyard.
Yeah.
Hence why they want to come to our event so we can teach them the secrets. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. I did post the flyer that you posted that I have my picture on, but I
Yeah.
could make another one. And I've been posting it on like Facebook and sending it to my
I
family. I have
I
be out there.
I
So
I would I would take it one step further. Anybody on this call, don't just post on a timeline. Go look to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, search for Puerto Rico agents and message them directly, DM them directly, give them a personal invite. If they're any good of a real estate agent, you can easily Google them and find their cell phone. Pick
yeah.
up the phone and call them. Give them a personal invite. That's how Daniel and I attract at a high level. Daniel, go ahead and share with us
No,
what you're showing on the screen.
I'm just showing you that I'm heading to Vancouver. I haven't planned where we're gonna meet yet, but I've already talked to John and Ada. It's like, hey, let's do a coffee meetup or somewhere in Vancouver while I'm there. So February 2nd, I'll be in Vancouver. I'm driving down to Jim in Seattle. So I said, Jim, can we do a coffee event from 9 11? We'll see who comes. The people who come, they were interested. They want to connect, right? The ones that show up, right? You want partners that show up. So the people that show up and they're intentionally just gonna check you out and just ask questions. Those are relationship building, and it starts with one at a time, right?
And thank
Um,
you. And Daniel, guess what? You get to write the entire trip off, don't you?
yes, yes.
All right.
I love that.
If you haven't leveraged that tax code, you're really missing out,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to meet up with one person in Iceland, one person in Costa Rica, and I get to write off my entire trip.
And I
Just
wanna
think about that, guys. Go ahead,
and
Dan.
Joanna, I wanted to add like the Puerto Rican agents. One of the conversations has like, hey, you know what? Because of a platform, they don't have to be stuck in their island in Puerto Rico. They can build an organization in Miami. They can build in Mexico. They can build in Dominican Republic. They can build in Hawaii if they wanted to, if they have a connection. So that agent is no longer stuck. If they're at Remax, Century 21, or these other independent brokers, they're stuck in that island. So kind of get them to think a little bit. And then because they'll ask like how? Because we're one corporate company. licensed in all in 50 states and 31 countries plus because Tom's opening up more islands.
By the
So
way, by the way, Dan, I'm closing on my island finally. It's been a dream of mine for 40 years. I'm buying a.
that's good.
Love the
All right.
feedback.
Well,
And
I
all of
appreciate
you are
everyone's
invited.
time.
I'm gonna have a power hour agent attraction live on my island this summer. I promise you, all of you are invited. All right. So listen, everybody. Daniel Ang, thank you so much. Keith Andrews and I, a bunch of other commercial agents, jump on the next call. It's called the Deal Exchange with Rich Enderlin, our commercial guys. That happens next. Guys, go out and crush 2026. Daniel and I and the rest of us are here to help you collaborate, train, coach, mentor, co-sponsor, primary sponsor together. Daniel, I will see you in San Antonio.
All right.
Take
See
care,
you in a few
everybody.
weeks. Bye,
Oh,
guys.
Thursday. Show up for Brent Gove. Bye.